Oh, here we are. It is serverless office hours. Look here. I got with me, I have Nihal and I have Akshay. Now, let's be real honest. Did I even come close to getting those right?
You are good. You said it right.
I
Thank
said it
you.
right? Okay, very cool. And Akshay, so is it Akshay or Akshay?
Akshay or Akshay, whatever you want. Yes.
Okay. It's, you're so nice to me. You're like, yeah, you're not even close, so we're just let you say whatever you want to say. So this is serverless office hours. Super excited to have. I see a bunch of people out there, and this I'm going to be really honest. Akshay and Nihal, we had a last minute cancellation, so these folks stepped up, and we're going to be showing something super cool today. I'm actually pretty excited about this. We're going to be talking about of all things, public speaking and serverless, which I was like, I mean, obviously, I'm a public speaker and I talk about serverless, but I've never combined them in the way we're going to talk about today. So, like I said, I'm super excited. You'll recognize I am not Julian. I don't have his golden mane flowing. I'm the bald guy. So, I think better looking, but that's a debate. We're basically twins if you think about it. So, and I know I use that joke every time, but I like it. It makes me happy. So I'm telling you, I will tell you, Nihal, and actually you're new to me, but no, for years I've had a gray goatee to here. I shaved it off Friday night. So people are like, what in the world? I walked downstairs. I'm going to be real honest. I walked downstairs. My wife took one look and said, oh, I don't like that at all. So I'm banished to the basement, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So, okay. So what I want to do is real quick, I'm going to start with Akshay. Akshay, tell us who you are, what you do at AWS, and where you're streaming in from. And then for those of you watching, be sure to hit the comments and let us know where you're watching from as well.
Hey, thank you so much, Eric. Hey, everyone. Super excited to be here. I am, first of all, a long time listener. I'm happy to make my debut today. So,
Yeah.
my name is Akshay Singhal. I am a senior technical account manager here at AWS. I've been with AWS more than 5 years now, all through as a TAM, what we call ourselves internally. Uh, I help our large ISV customers or independent software vendors who are operating on AWS. I'm a TAM for one of the big customers. I love serverless. That's why I'm here. I'm part of the serverless community at AWS. I love building serverless things. It helps me get started quickly. It helps me scale it up faster. So I absolutely love serverless.
That,
Outside of work, I love traveling. I even though I have not been able to do it a lot recently, but I love going to Iceland. Been there 4 or 5 times now. That's
oh,
amazing. That's an
nice.
amazing place. Yes,
So super
and
jealous about that.
and I love watching Formula One. I can talk about Formula One more than I can talk about serverless. So hit me up if you ever want to talk about Formula One.
Uh, so kind of a nerd there. I like. Well, I guess Formula One's not nerdy. I guess that's a non-nerdy thing. I do the nerdy stuff. I do Legos. I have a Formula One Lego car somewhere, but I've never been to
Nice.
it. So yeah. Actually, that's great. Thank you. And I'm sorry. I'm going to be really honest. I was logging into the channel there so that I could chat with the folks coming in, and I missed where are you coming in from?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I am from the Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay
Okay.
Area. I'm in
All right.
Mountain View right now. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Beautiful weather there. Love it. Okay, and Nihal. Now, no, so I have Akshay Singhal. Okay, we're gonna be he's being and then it's Nihal Singhoy.
That's right.
All right. So where tell us the same about you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Eric, for inviting me here. Again, super excited to be here, like Akshay is. My name is Nehal Sangoi. I am also a senior technical account manager in AWS and have been with the company for more than 5 years. I have also been an architect in my previous role in Amazon. Right now, I'm TAM supporting large independent software vendors. Uh, I help them plan and build their workloads and applications using AWS services and help them with like strategic guidance on how to deploy and best use the AWS cloud. Outside of work, I practice yoga and I play tennis with my friends. I'm still learning the tennis from past 2 years, so I'm nowhere so far.
Understand?
Um, yes, and I am based out of Los Angeles, but right now I am streaming from Mumbai. I came here to visit my family.
Nice. Okay. All right.
It's
I
a
have
nice.
been to Mumbai. I'm going to tell you that. Just the airport, but I've been to India and going back to India. We can talk more about that later. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Yep. That's
So
me.
Super excited. Thank you for so it's sometime. What time is it there for you right now, Nihal?
It's almost 11:45
Okay.
p.m.
Okay. Right
and
on.
it
And the
is
family
raining
right
in the
now is like,
summer.
are they like telling you, did they lock you away? It's really, yeah. So, okay. So, I want to let people know what we're going to be talking about. So you see, hey, this is where we're staying around. So, and actually, I'm just going to say a little bit, and then I'm going to turn it over to you because I think you've got your screen to kind of show. We're going to do a couple of PowerPoint slides. As you know, this is Serverless Office Hours. If you've never seen this show, the purpose of this show is we answer serverless questions. We show serverless technology. This is all going to be something that you're seeing. So even if you have a question that's not related to what's going on, ask it. If we can answer it, we'll answer it. If we can't, we'll try to find the people who can. And with that, I'm going to tell you that today we're talking, and actually, no, actually, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to let you present what you're going to show here because this is super cool. So here we go. Are you your screen ready?
Absolutely. Yes, my screen is ready, and Nihal is going to take it over.
All right.
Thank you,
Love
Akshay.
this.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. So today we'll be talking about a solution we built to help the presenters over the world to improve their public speaking skills. As we all know, public speaking is like super important in today's time. And we built a Gen AI based assistant and using the large language models to help you with the public speaking engagements. Let's go to the next slide. What does our solution do? It takes your own speech, your own presentation, and then it analyzes for various criteria that we have in our prompt. It checks the language use. It checks whether it's an inclusive language or anything abusive in it. It will try to remove it. It will look for the filler words, your vocabulary, use of any grammatical errors or anything. So it does all the checks. It provides the feedback and suggestions on your speech. And then with the same feedback and suggestions, it will take your speech and provide a curated speech. So not only giving you the suggestions, but also a curated speech itself to see another version of your speech and see if you can better your public speaking with that. That's the high level of our solution. Let's dive deep into the architecture.
Okay, before we do that, okay, what I didn't warn y'all. So here's the full disclosure. Akshay and y'all got a crash course on what Serverless Office Hours looks like. The part I didn't get to is I interrupt a lot. So that's why these go an hour. You know, you may have 10 minutes of content, but I've got an hour of interruptions. But all right, so speaking, that's my thing. I'm a public speaker. I love that's what I do at AWS. But I know that. And I'm going to be really honest. If there's a stage in the room, I want to be on it. That's been my personality, stuff like that. But it's still a very nerve-wracking thing, right? And because people are afraid they're going to say the wrong thing, and real quick, filler words. To expand on filler words just for a moment. What does that mean?
Filler words are like, if you are nervous or anything, you are going to say, like, I don't know how to say. That's the kind of like you're nervous, you don't know what to say, you have a gap, you have some sort of silence, all of that.
So when people get up to speak, that's one of the things. I still do filler words. I've been speaking I've been publicly speaking for probably 35 years now. So I've been doing, and what a lot of people don't know is I was a pastor for 10 years. So this is something I did, every day. And even now I still do, because I'm trying to figure out where I'm headed, where, it's the thought process here that's not lining up here. And so this, as I see it, and I'm jumping into it before you go, but I see this really kind of helping roadmap that for you. And kind of later, I gotta be honest, till this week I hadn't heard about this. This is genius. So okay, let's do architecture. I'll be quiet for a minute, just for a minute though.
Sure. Akshay, if you can. Wonderful. Thank you, Akshay. Diving deep into our architecture here, we are using Streamlit Web Portal. This is openly available to anyone to download. when the user comes in, they can log into the web portal, and underneath Amazon Cognito Services user pool functionality handles the authentication for the user. So once the user is authenticated, we provide a button for user to upload your audio or video of your presentation recording. You can upload your file. It will then get stored into the Amazon S3 bucket. And when it gets stored, it creates the S3 put event, and that event actually calls Amazon Event Bridge Service. Now, we used Event Bridge Service because we wanted an event driven architecture, which is again one serverless architecture's functionality. We wanted to make this solution on demand for the users whenever you want, right? So it works that way. Amazon Event Bridge then will invoke the step functions workflow and state machine. Step functions workflow helps us with the orchestration. This is another serverless service. As you can see, we have used a lot of serverless services off the shelf
Yeah.
available from the AWS. It helps us, like, right use of the service at the right time, making sure you just pay for your actual usage. You don't have to manage any servers. These are scalable, all of that, all of the goodness of these services, right? So in the first step of the step functions workflow, we are using Amazon Transcribe service. Amazon Transcribe, this is the service. It provides you automatic speech recognition. It helps converting your speech into the text, which we then use as an input to the Amazon Bedrock model. So Amazon Transcribe is another cool service if you wanted like speech to text
Yep.
conversion. So for we are calling Amazon Bedrock service twice. In the second step of the workflow, we are getting feedback for your own speech using the prompt that we talked about earlier, where we check for the use of the language, any filler words, any vocabulary, all of that. And then it will provide results and feedback and the suggestions on your own speech. We take the speech again, and we take the output of the first prompt, which is feedback and the suggestions. We chain that prompt, and we call the Bedrock again to get the curated speech of your presentation using its own provided feedback and the suggestions. um, I know I said it quite a long thing, but I hope that makes sense.
No, that there's a lot here, and we actually have questions coming in already, so that's really cool. And so I'll give those to you. Let's. In fact, this may help a lot. So the first question we have is this. This is thank you guys for sharing a few questions. The user uploads the recording. Are you using pre-signed URL, or is there a specific role assigned to your Streamlit application? So this is Francisco is a great question. Maybe if you'll take a moment and talk about Streamlit and how that's working, kind of answer that, would be great. And
Absolutely.
I showed earlier the Streamlit link, streamlit.io. This is Python, yes? Python based?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm not just talking out my ear, am I? Okay. Yeah, so I played with Stream a little bit. It's very cool, but you talk about it.
Yeah, we are not using pre-signed URLs. We are rather making the user authenticate against the Amazon Cognito user pool first, making sure who the user is, and then we have like internal access. So once you are logged in, we just have Amazon S3 bucket rights available to you only to put the content in it. There is nothing else that you can do, and you don't have access to AWS console at all. You just have upload capability from your browser from the Streamlit capability.
So it's doing the SIG-v4. It's signing that in the Streamlit app then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. Very cool. All righty. Great question. Francisco, hopefully that answers your question. Pre-signed URL is another way to go. If a way you could do that is you could actually have if someone logged in, you could have Lambda function generate a pre-sign, kick it back to the user, and then the client has to know to go back. But by doing it this way, their client is actually signing it and sending it to the bucket directly. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And the last part towards the architecture, as I was finishing. Once we have the results, both the results, the feedback and the curated speech, we combine both of these and display on the user's browser where the user is logged in on the Streamlit web portal, as well as we send it to another serverless service, which is Amazon SNS, to send out as email notifications so you don't lose it. Once you are logged out, you are off the
Nice.
browser, you still have it.
So this is your asynchronous response to the customer. Nice.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a few questions on this
Mhm.
because I'm curious about some things. First of all, the same question. First of all, I want to do a call out to Daniel. Daniel's watching from Sao Paulo, Brazil. He is an AWS employee. He's awesome. He watches, supports, and he's a blog machine. So Daniel, good to see you. He's telling us hello. So um, so a couple questions I have now. An interesting thing here. I want to go to models for the moment. You're using Bedrock. You're using Claude 3.5, Sonnet V2, and you're doing that at phases 6 and I'm sorry, I guess it's 7 and 8. So, but in 6, you're using transcribe. Now, I would do the same thing, but I'm curious of your reasoning on why transcribe rather than using an LLM for the text to speech. And like I said, I want to do the same thing, and I have my reasons, but I want to let you go first.
So
Yeah,
I can go,
go
Niraj.
for it.
Yeah,
So
that'd be great.
when we developed this, this was last year. The
Yeah.
LLM models that we had did not support multi-model capabilities. So we
Okay.
only had at the time we didn't have. So that's when we deployed this model. With the new advancements, yes, things are changing every day, and we're looking at improving this. In fact,
Yeah.
part of the press, Eric, I will try to show a demo of Nova Sonic speech-to-speech capability as well. I have
Ooh,
it
okay.
working.
I like that.
I
Okay.
hope demo gods are with us today, and I'll try to show it to you as well.
Okay. Yeah. So I love this idea. And even now, so right, we have these LLMs that do text to speech, but we also have these machine learning models like transcribe that are designed specifically and trained specifically for this. And so it's probably, I'm not going to say it's more accurate, but it probably is to be. I just said I'm not going to, and then I did it. So don't hold. So what that meant is don't hold me to that. But you have these machine or these models that are trained very specifically. This is I get a question a lot of like, which model do I use when? Obviously, LLMs are our go-to. We all look at Claude. We look at Llama. We look at ChatGPT, Nova, all those things. But sometimes we forget the recognitions and the transcribes that are already doing these, been doing for a while, and are highly, highly specifically trained. And so sometimes it's a little less expensive and a little more proficient to hit these models and then save your LLMs for your reasoning and your bigger stuff like that. So it's a really interesting choice, and I like it. So this is cool. The other question I have, and I knew this was probably about a year old because it is 3.5 and not 3.7. I'm assuming you'll update at some point or look at the Nova models. And if you're not familiar, I'll throw this out real quick. If you're not familiar with Nova models, Amazon built those. They're less expensive and faster. Now, there's a trade-off, obviously. So I mean, obviously, Anthropic has some killer reasoning in 3.7. I mean, the reasoning's just off the charts. And so one of the cool things is we start saying, okay, what kind of work am I doing? And if it needs really strong reasoning, then I'm going to hit Anthropic 3.7. But if I can do good reasoning, it doesn't have to be the top end, but good reasoning, I want to do it faster and cheaper, then I can do Nova. And so we start choosing which models work. And Nova's very good. It's very fast. So it's pretty slick on how that works. And it's the same thing you're doing when you go from Claude Sonnet to maybe Haiku, and you're going back and forth. And what's cool is in Bedrock, I hope I'm not stealing all your thunder, but in Bedrock, you can actually do prompt routing. You can actually say, oh, for this, use this prompt or this model, and for this, you use this model. So that's super cool. So the one other question I do have for you is, have you thought about, for the SNS, I love this because that's the asynchronous. One of the big struggles we have in asynchronous applications, and obviously this is asynchronous because it has to churn and work, is how do we let the customer know? This is an email approach. But the other way is now we have the app sync events, which was just released at reInvent, which actually manages that two-way WebSockets Is that in your plans?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, we always love to evolve. Yeah, we always love to evolve the architecture. Yes.
I totally stole your thunder. I totally did. I'm sorry. You're like, come on, Eric. So, okay. All right. Very cool. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna be quiet and let you head on to the next one. I'm pouring my Dr. Pepper as we speak. So, all right, little brain there. Okay.
Yeah. Over to Akshay for the demo. Looking forward to that.
All right.
Nice.
Okay. So give me a second. Let me just switch screens and tell me if you still can hear or see my screens. I seem to have lost my screen. Oops. Give me 1 second.
No worries. Yeah, if you need to drop out and come back in, that's fine too.
No. I mean, I have the screen. It's just
okay.
The screen
just getting PowerPoint to let go. That's always fun. Yeah.
PowerPoint has taken over my browser.
So while you're doing that, we have another question just came in. So you get prepared, and I'm gonna ask this question here. Okay. So this is probably a question for y'all. It says, hello from Turin again. This is Francisco again. Great. Q1, are the recordings audio file or also video? And what's the file type on S3? The question 2 is what's traveling on EventBridge, the entire speech or just a reference to S3? Francisco, really good questions. I'd say Francisco has some event-driven architecture under his belt. So, yeah.
So the file types could be anything. You can have audio or video file. And then on the EventBridge, only S3 reference is traveling. Earlier, we had the entire speech traveling, and we realized it immediately.
That won't work. Yeah. So what's your EventBridge 256, right? Yeah, on an event. Yeah. So videos are bigger than that. Yeah. And that's the way to go. That's exactly right. So
okay, I am ready, Eric. Sorry.
Okay, no worries at all.
Yeah, I lost my Chrome browser somewhere. Okay, so this is our.
You know what? And I'm going to comment on your personality here. That was too many windows, sir. That was too many windows. I saw that, and everybody saw that. And I'll rewind the video. There were like 3,000 screens, so that's on you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know.
That was judgmental, but there it is.
That's the state of my mind right now, right? So the mind is reflected on the browser or on the laptop.
That's how we roll, baby. It's how we roll. Okay.
Cool. So as you can see, we have the Streamlit UI, which provides a login interface. So I can add let me log in with my user, which I had created. And once it's logged in, it presents us this portal. It gives a simple portal. We're not doing anything fancy here. You drag and drop the presentation. It could be an audio file or an audio video file. If it's an audio video file, we extract the video, like text extract automatically exists. So again, one advantage of text extract, we don't have to do anything. Text extract, transcribe is able to do all of it automatically. Didn't have to do anything.
Whether it's video or audio, right?
Yes, exactly.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay. And it handles all kinds of.
And it handles more than 100 languages. So just as a disclaimer, our solution supports English right now, but we are working on making it multilingual. And for now, transcribe will identify the language. It'll give us the speech in the language, but our prompts are more English based. So Bedrock will say, "Hey, sorry, I can't help you." But we're working on handling all the languages.
Nice. Okay. Good to know.
Cool. Okay, so let's see. So I'm going to browse and open. I have a sample file, a speech that I prepared. It was a dry run for something I was doing earlier.
Okay.
And I'm going to upload it. And once it's uploaded, once it's added, I'm going to upload it. So the moment I press upload, it's going to S3 now. And from S3, EventBridge triggers a notification. And you can, on the right, we are trying to show our state machine output, right? So you can see on the right, the start description job has started. The stage is
to transcribe okay.
Yeah, and then it's waiting. So transcript takes about 30 seconds, depending on the length of the video. So it's taking 30 seconds. It's going to loop for a few times to check, hey, is the job ready? Is the job ready? Once it is ready, you can see job status is good. It goes to Bedrock to get the speech feedback. Right. Now it's doing this prompt chaining.
Go ahead. No, I have many questions, but I'll wait.
Okay.
I'll wait. Yeah.
All right. Once that is done, it changes that input and sends it to Bedrock again to do speech rewrite. And now we're generating the rewrite portion of the speech based on the feedback that it generated itself, based on the raw speech. Right. Okay. Now, once that is done, It's combining the output, and on the left now you can see the speech recommendations. It's found some grammatical things that we should correct, some repetitions, filler words. It's giving some suggestions, right? I'm not going to go read all of that, but it's giving you suggestions.
Right.
You can read it. And then
Can you
towards the
blow
end,
this up just a pinch,
yeah,
Akshay?
sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of, no, you're good. You're good. Yeah. There you go. That's perfect. Thank you.
Right. And towards the bottom, we have the speech rewrite suggestion, right? So here's saying, hey, good morning, everyone. Today I'm excited to present a valuable tool. So it's giving you those highlights that you can learn from to enhance your speech, right? So it's giving you suggestions of what to do, when to transition. Now let's dive into the details. So it's giving you all those kinds of hints that you can now use to practice your dry runs more, right? The practice makes you perfect. So you practice, keep practicing. You can use the tool as many times as you want, and until you're satisfied. So it's giving you the entire speech as an output.
This is amazing. I do have to address a question real quick here. We did get a question from Sam. Abi, does the bottom speaker not have hands? No, I don't. I do have hands, but I'm different. So this is me. I have one finger on each hand. And that's a cool question, and I'm glad you asked. And I was born this way. I actually have 5 kids, and 4 of my kids are this way too. It's crazy, but yes, I appreciate you asking that. We'll get that elephant out of the room. Okay, so many questions here. Okay, so first of all, so number one, you're getting feedback from the system. Now, we probably may need to go back to the architecture for this, but we could just talk it through. So how are you getting information? So what's happening here? I mean, I know how I would do it in my head, things like that, but you're okay. You know when the transcription job started. You know it was waiting. You know the status, and it looped. So we looped for some information, right? And then you said, okay, now we're getting speed. So you're giving feedback to the client, which is brilliant. This is obviously great, and so it's well designed. How is that information getting back to the client? What are you using?
Okay, so let me switch to our state machine. So
yes,
for those folks who have not seen this, this is our AWS console, which
blow,
we have the
blow that up just
state machine.
At least just the state machine itself, and then we could go through parts of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you can see, the state machine gets kicked off from the start, and so this. The trigger is the event-based notification. So once.
Hey, actually, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Can you pop that up? It's hard to see. Yeah, just do a zoom in on that. There you go. And then there you go. Much better. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, this is good.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So once the file is uploaded, event-based triggers a notification, sends us a message, and starts this state machine. The first thing you see is start transcription job. So we can directly call, again, one of the advantages of optimized integrations in state machine, in step functions. You can directly call transcribe. You don't have to write any custom code, any custom logic. I don't have to call Lambda or anything here. So directly calling the transcription job. Once the transcription job is called, I wait. So it's a wait state for waiting for 10 seconds. And then it checks, is the job successful? Is the job complete? Based on the status, no, okay, go back. Do that a couple of times. Once the job is complete, a particular variable will be set to true or complete. Based on that, I have a choice state. So let me scroll down a little bit. So if the transcription job failed for some reason, I immediately go to transcription failed and let the user know, hey, something happened. Sorry about that. Try again. If it's successful, if the transcription job status is completed, then okay, then I use Lambda to create the prompt for the speech feedback. Right. So we have the prompt. We get the raw text from the transcription job in an S3 bucket. So Lambda knows how to access that, and it creates the prompt. Once it creates the prompt, it saves the prompt in an S3 location, and then Bedrock, step function calls Bedrock, which triggers Bedrock Anthropic cloud model and gives it the input as the S3 file location. Bedrock does its thing, gets the speech feedback based on the prompt, and then writes it to another S3 location. Then we invoke Lambda again to create the prompt with the user input and the assistant's reply to create a prompt for the speech rewrite, telling Bedrock, hey, look, this is our raw speech. This is the feedback you gave me. Please regenerate the speech and how you would, based on the feedback that you gave us, how would you rewrite the speech? We just create the prompt in Lambda. And then we use a step function again to do the invocation of the Bedrock with that. And Bedrock again uses the S3 location to find the payload for the invocation, and then it generates the speech rewrite. Once we have the speech rewrite, we combine both the speech feedback, the speech rewrite, and Lambda function, and then we use SNS to publish it to the end user.
Nice. Okay. Alrighty. So you're not, and you made me, I'm going to call you out on this. You're not actually, the steps that you're doing are kind of the front end saying those. There's not actual feedback from the back end at the moment.
No, these are reflecting what the state machine is doing. So we wanted to
Okay.
show the user what's happening in
Gotcha.
the back end. Yeah.
Okay. So you are getting actually messages out from, so how are you sending that from the the state machine?
Yeah, so we are just using the AWS SDK in our code to query the step
Got
machine,
it.
step functions status right now. Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Okay. So the next thing, so all right, so that's super cool. And I love seeing that. Now, I want to talk about the upload, and we talked about it before, the signed URL and stuff like that. But for those who are new to serverless, when you all hit upload, you're doing something that's very, I mean, it's the best way of doing it. It's a best practice. What we find a lot of people, there was no, if you looked at that architecture, there were no Lambda functions in the architecture. There are in the state machine, don't get me wrong, but in the architecture. But you are not uploading files through a Lambda function. You are uploading directly to S3. Tell folks why that's the best way to do that.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't have to manage any custom code for that. I don't have to do any handling for that. I don't have to do retries. Everything is handled automatically by the system, by the SDK for me.
Yeah, and I would also add on, Lambda has a limitation, right? So you can only upload so much through the file or through the API gateway or things like that. What you want to do when you're uploading files, large files or even small files, talk directly with the API at S3. It's the fastest one. I mean, it's designed to it's a pipe, right? And so it's designed to go, to handle that. And so, great way to do that. So really well designed on this. So, all right, so. I'm going to be quiet for a minute. I think you're going to show some other stuff here. So
yes. So now what I want to show is the hot of the press change I made last night. It's so latest that I have not got a chance to integrate it with the UI. So that's why you see the console here, where I'm going to try to use Nova Sonic's latest speech-to-speech capability. Right. So what I'm doing now is whatever prompt or whatever feedback that Bedrock generated, I'm going to feed it to Nova Sonic as a conversation or a chat history. I'm saying, hey, this is a chat history. And then I'm going to ask Nova in an audio format, hey, Nova, can you help me improve my speech? Right now, I understand the challenge here is because I'm using a headphone right now, you folks can't hear what Nova is saying. But believe me, it's a real speech to speech. It's a human-like interaction. It responds to me in natural language saying, oh, hey, Akshay, you can say it in this way or you can say it in that way. So that's the real cool capability. Unfortunately, because of the way I'm doing it, I can only hear it in my ear. But I do plan to upload a demo of this with two-way interaction and upload it to our blog and on the GitHub.
When you upload that, let me know and I'll tweet it out as well. And so, watch for that. So I appreciate it. And y'all jumped in last minute. So I'm just grateful you're doing this. This is awesome. So thank you.
No worries. Eric, quickly, can you read this? Do you want me to zoom it further?
Let's zoom in just a pinch. And while we're doing that, we had another question from Francisco, really good with that we'll get to afterwards, probably more of a thought process. So just Francisco, I see your question and we're gonna get to it. It's great.
Okay. So now let me do this. So I'm going to start this Python program. So it's again querying the same S3 bucket. So the payload and everything is same. It's querying the same S3 bucket. But now the model knows all that history in a conversation-based thing. It thinks it's a chat history. So it's able to help me with that. So let's start it. Hey, Nova, can you hear me?
Nice.
Actually, you know what? I don't want the revised version. Just help me tell a better way to explain my Python example, right? Can you tell me?
I should play music.
So
no,
sorry.
sing.
So I stopped it. Yeah. So it's telling me. So you saw I was able to barge in. So that's another capability of Nova Sonic. So I can have completely human interaction. So when it started, it told me, hey, look, this is how you can say the speech again. I said, no, sorry, I don't want that. Tell me how I can improve this part of my speech. I'm not happy with that part. Tell me how do I say it again. So in my ear, it was telling me exactly how to say these things and it was showing on the screen what to say.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, and I love Julian. No offense to Julian. This is way cooler than anything he was gonna do. This is Super cool. I mean, let's take out your application for a minute, which is phenomenal, and just this interaction, this talkback, and how fast it was able to react. This is I haven't played with this yet, so I'm really excited to play with this. Okay. What if you don't have any? Do you have something else, or do you want to answer this question? You tell me.
Yeah, let's go to the questions. We just wanted to switch back to the slides to show, to show something else. But yeah, let's switch back to the question.
Okay, so here's the question. It's a really good question, and it's getting into more methodologies and approach to development and stuff like that. I really like the question. Francisco, you have to come to all serverless office hours now because you ask great questions and it makes me think. So I like this. So do you see any space for multi-agent approach here? You designed and actually developed a workflow with a step function. I want to replace the state machines with an agent able of coordinating it. Do you want to?
Yes, Francisco, I absolutely love your question. This is the direction that I am going with. Again, when we developed this, as you can, let me zoom it in. This was launched 2024 October. There were no agents that were available field, right? Now the agents are everywhere. Me and Nehal are in the process of redesigning the entire solution to use agents, right? They can do a lot of the things that I'm doing in the step function. They can do it even better, right? So absolutely, I love the question, and this is where the direction that we are going into.
Yeah, I'll expand. Oh, I thought I closed the StreamYard window. That scared me. Okay, I'm still here, right? Everybody sees me? Okay, good.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit. And also this blog that Akshay has up, I'm going to post that in the links here in just a minute. So don't sweat on that. If you're trying to read that little teeny print. Yeah, agentic, it's a real balance when we're thinking about agentic development. We have a workshop that we do. We've done it. I'm doing it in a couple of weeks in New York, where we talk about how do you build agentic applications on serverless. And it is a great way, because eventually we're getting to this place where we just have these interactions, just like Akshay was showing, and then it's doing things. But the reality of that is, and it's talking to other agents, but there also need to be some tools in place, right? Things like our MCP servers, which wrap things like tooling. And so we're not at the point where we're getting rid of state machines. We're abstracting them more, because you want the non-deterministic. There we go. The deterministic. They pay me to speak here at AWS. It's frightening sometimes. It's shocking. But you still need some deterministic things. You still need orchestration, right? So if I'm going to write an MCP server that's going to do API calls, or maybe do some orchestration and get some different things, I'm still going to do step functions for that. But my client probably won't see it. It'll probably be wrapped with an MCP server. Maybe it'll be a Lambda function. We've talked about, especially with the new the HTTP streamable transport. We can use these non-persistent Lambda functions as agents for MCP servers, or a service for MCP servers, and they work really well. Right? We've got one of our essays working on a bunch of examples on these, and we got a bunch coming out, But I guess my point is, we're not doing away with that. You still need the compute, the orchestration, things like that. But we're terming those, or we're rolling those into agents in a lot of different ways. I don't know if that makes sense, Francisco, but yeah, he said, okay. He said he's going to follow to stay posted on that. But hopefully that helps. I'm working in my head on a way to use step functions to actually build out some MCP server stuff, which I'm a step functions freak. I love step functions. I can use step functions all the time. But Lambdas work really, really well. I just trust my ability to orchestrate in step functions better than I trust my code. So that's where it comes down to it. But yes, we're doing so much with agents now that we are able to abstract some of that away. Whew, that was a long answer. So, all right. What else you got?
I'm going to hand it over to Nehal for the rest of the thing.
Okay.
Yes. So, Akshay, I think, do you want to go to future functionality slide?
Yes, sorry. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so we have thought of a lot of new features that we want to add to our solution, and also incorporate all the new good stuff that gets released quite fast in time. We want to give users capability to select the choice of your LLM model. Right now we are using Claude Sonnet, but we want to give that as a choice. We want to incorporate the Converse usage of Converse API for like consistent interface, which gives you the support for the models that support all the messages. Would like to add some security aspects to our solution where we can allow users to like redact PII or any sensitive information. Now that Bedrock guardrails support a lot of the things, we wanna get all of those embedded into our solution. Another cool one we have is creating a chatbot based experience, something that Akshay already showed with the Noah Sonic. We definitely want to do that to give that human touch and human interaction, because what best could be when you get someone to say like, oh, this is what you can do better, versus you read, this is what you can do better. um, we want to add sentiment analysis, because this will help if user is presenting, and just to identify whether user is nervous or any sentiment that user has that just doesn't go well with the presentation. We want to identify, give feedback on that. Finally, the last one, this is a big one. Imagine you have a company with hundreds of employees, and if they are presenting on behalf of the company, you want to make sure they are using the right company information. We want to implement the RAG to fact check against the company's data and information, whatever they speak about. So that's one of the things that we want to bring in. Our solution essentially is really for like the companies who want to coach a lot of employees with public speaking, and hiring coach for every individual or group of individual can put up a financial burden. But with this Gen AI and the technology, our solution can help you deploy a solution that would be cost effective and could be on demand to all your employees wherever they are in the world. That's the purpose and intention behind it. So
This he's good. You have a QR. I've also posted a link. This is so you want to play around with this? There it is. Now, caveat is there's some charges on this. Obviously, it's serverless, so you only pay for what you use. But understand that. Um, this is brilliant, Akshay Nihal. This is one of the unique. I mean, we see so, and I've written so many, standard, Gen AI chatbots, things like that. This is such a unique approach to using Gen AI. I see a lot. So let me give you some background. You all know this, but so at AWS, if you want to speak at AWS, you go through a certification. It's one of the hardest certifications I've ever done. I was really shocked. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And it's a good one. It helps us. I mean, there's some things that we do, but I remember that being the most stressful thing when I started here. And I'm a senior speaker, and have that, buddy. Woo. And so, but a lot of it was an evaluation of how, and it's not so much the ums and ahs. It's more about your context, and are you telling truth? Are you telling and things like that? But understanding how the Amazon way of speaking is very cool, and I could see us being trained very much for that, or kind of already there in some ways. But brilliant approach on this. I wanted to go back, if you're okay, because we have some time. I wanted to go back, and I'm actually going to share my screen for a minute, and talk about when we were talking about upgrading things. And you all know this, but I want to show folks, and getting back to Francisco's question. How easy can it get when we start using step functions? And this is getting, I'm going to show off step functions just a little bit. I posted earlier, Francisco made the comment, I love step functions, but the supervisor of Amazon Bedrock agents will replace it one day. Maybe not. I don't think it'll replace it because there's different uses, but that was a funny statement. That made me chuckle. So I'm gonna show a screen here, maybe. Bear with me.
Do you want to stop sharing, Eric?
No, you're good. I have to just bring up mine here as well, so make sure I get the right one. Here we go. All right, so this is my summarizer. Let me add it real quick here. There it is. I couldn't find it. Here we go. Add to stage. Maybe. Let me remove yours. Let me add mine. There we go. All right. So this is a summarizer that I built that's doing a lot of the same things in the background. What I'm doing with this is I'm actually grabbing some data. This is on a basically a survey. So I'm grabbing a ton of data and I'm pulling that in. I'm extracting and I'm actually using some JSONata. So where we used to have to loop through to grab a bunch of stuff, I'm using JSONata, and I can actually show you just for the fun of it. I'm using JSON queries, which that may look kind of crazy, but I'm looping through those without having to loop through or do state transitions in my state machine, right? Then I'm coming out, and in parallel, I'm going to do some what we call BIFs. They're a feedback mechanism, and CSATs. I've got two different type of reports. So here's a trick to adding multiple models if you want. I actually format everything I use or need using the converse model. Do either one of you want to throw out the advantage of the converse model and why we created it?
It helps
It
maintain the
allows you
statistic.
to give a consistent interface
There
for
you
choosing
go.
all the models that support
Right.
messages.
That's right. So behind the converse model, we're kind of reformatting to the different models, right? So because if not, then you're like, okay, what does Llama expect me? Oh, wait a minute, what does Bedrock expect? There's all kinds of them. There's one called the Jon Snow Labs model. I don't know what it does, but that's a cool name. And we host it on Bedrock. But anyway, so what I do is I format my prompt in a past state. And then I pass it in, and at this point, I can now do multiple models. So in this one, I'm hitting Sonnet 3.7. In this one, I'm doing Nova, and then and it is literally as easy as saying, "Oh, you want another one? Let me just duplicate this, okay? Drag it up over here, and then all I have to do is go in here because I'm already formatting. I just change the model." And I pull my converse in, and now I'm outputting. It's like, so do this in code, and that's going to take you a lot longer. Do this in step functions, and it was that quick. So this is something that that I've been working on over the last week, and I can just add multi models now. The other thing, and to Francisco's point, we have the prompt router in Bedrock, and that one's more for a more permanent solution. It's saying, look, I got the same prompt. Which makes more sense for this prompt? Mine is, look, I have the same prompt, and I want to compare 3 different models. Now, I can do that comparison in Bedrock as well, but that's more in the dashboard. This is going to write it out to the database, and then I can use another model to analyze it, all kinds of things. So something I just wanted to show, I thought was kind of cool, and I'll take that off. All right. Anything else you all want to show, or we can answer some questions, or we can call it. We've done good on time. So,
I'm happy to
any
answer questions.
shameless plugs?
I can quickly show the last page if you want.
Yeah,
So
that'd be great.
We have a socials
bring
there.
that back in. Yeah.
We have our socials and everything there. So in case people want to reach out to us, can you see this?
Oh yeah, Francisco, you and I are going to work out just fine, buddy. Yeah. Me too. Jason, that is awesome. All right, I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. Yes, so if you want to reach out to Akshay or Nihal, they've got some socials and some email. We like hearing from people. So let us know if you have questions, comments, feedback, those kinds of things. We've posted the blogs. And so with that, I'm going to say, Nihal, Akshay, you all really stepped up. This was not a filler session. This is one of the best sessions we've had in a while. This is really cool. Like I said, a great implementation of what Gen AI can do to help us do better. And if there's no other questions, I'm watching here. We had some great questions. We had some interesting feedback, and we'll call it a day. Anything else before I go?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Eric. Everyone, thanks for joining. Please do try out our code. It's available on AWS samples, and let us know how you think about it.
Yeah,
and it's on that QR. Hey, throw that QR code up again real quick, Akshay.
Let me do that.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, so there's QR code to it. While you're doing that, I'm going to throw out a big shout out to Jeffrey, our producer, Paco, our producer. Thank you so much for your help. You all rock. And we've gotten some good feedback, some good demo feedback. So very, very nicely done. And with that, we're going to say goodbye. Thank you again, Akshay and Nihal. And everybody,
Thank you so much.
We'll be here next
you.
week, same time, same place. See you later.